If you're watching this video while your due date approaches, or maybe you have passed your due date even, you may be offered a membrane sweep. So let's see in this video what does it mean and how can you deal with this procedure, being informed and prepare for it. Let's go. Hello everyone and welcome back to this channel. If you're new here instead, my name is Ilenia and I'm a midwife. Today we're going to talk all about cervical sweeping, membrane stripping, membrane stretching. Yes, so many names, but it's exactly the same way. I would like to do an induction series where I talk about all the methods of induction. So I wanted to start it with this one because it's one of those borderline methods that is not an induction, pharmacological induction method, but it's not even completely natural because it's a mechanical form of labor stimulation, or better, that aims to stimulate labor, the beginning of labor. What does it mean to you? Your provider, your midwife or doctor will ask you, with your consent, that's very important, to perform a vaginal exam. In this vaginal exam, he or she will insert the fingers, and then if your cervix is a little bit dilated, usually like 1 centimeter, just a little bit enough open to insert 1 or 2 fingers, then they'll be able to stretch, just to simply go around the layer of membranes, and this is the baby's head and the layers of membrane that is around, and to stretch them. This usually releases prostaglandin, which are one of the hormones that help to start labor. Does it work all the times? No, usually it's 1 or 2 women in 8 that actually have their labor started after membrane sweeping. In the other, women usually just brings some contractions that are nothing serious, nothing regular, or some of them just simply helps to efface and shorten their cervix, which is also quite important and beneficial for the purpose of labor. This leads me to discuss about all the pros and cons. First of all, it's a completely personal decision. It's not mandatory. No one should do it without your consent, and you should be informed about what does it mean to you and to your pregnancy. The pros, as we said, the first one is that it may induce labor, it may help to get the cervix ready for labor or for an induction, and it may just speed up a labor that has already started. The cons is that, first of all, it can be quite painful, especially if your cervix is not very open, and usually in order for it to work, it kind of has to be painful. It needs to be like a generous sweep. It can cause some bleeding, it can cause some contractions that might be uncomfortable, but they don't do anything to modify your cervix. And then the most serious side effects is that it might break your waters, and therefore it can cause more interventions later on if your labor doesn't start. Your waters can break after a cervical sweep within the 24 hours, and this can be good or bad. Therefore, it really needs to apply to your situation, whether you decide to accept it or not. Because if you're saying to me, like, I have an induction in 2 days, I'm 42 weeks, I really want to try to avoid an induction, then it might be a solution for you to try to trigger labor to start. But if you are 38 weeks and you're just tired of being pregnant, then really think about it cautiously, because it just might not work and cause more damage than other. Also be mindful of those providers that offer you a sweep before 40 weeks, because it's really not evidence-based and nowhere it says that it can be beneficial. Again, unless maybe you're having an induction at 39 weeks for other medical reasons. But anyway, that's why I'm saying it really needs to apply to your situation. The cervical sweep is likely to work if your body and your baby are ready. So all those women that have a cervical sweeps and actually go into labor, usually they would have gone into labor anyway in a few days. It's just if your body is ready and just needs a little kick, a little trigger to get the start, get the show going. Otherwise, it just doesn't do much. As I said before, it's a procedure that needs to be done with your consent. You need to be informed before the examination begins. And if you feel that your provider is doing something to you to your cervix while they're doing a cervical exam, well, that's absolutely not professional and should not be done against your consent. During the vaginal examination, I know it can be quite uncomfortable to have a cervical sweep, so try to find a comfortable position, empty your bladder first, breathe through it, and usually that helps a lot to cope with exam, that if it's done properly usually doesn't last longer than a minute. I hope that helped to clarify some doubts about cervical sweep. Again, it's a very personal decision that needs to be decided on the day according to what your options are. It can be a form of induction or mainly stimulation and trigger of labor, while for other women can do absolutely nothing. Let me know in the comments if you had a cervical sweep, if you knew that what was going to happen, or if you have any questions, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next video. Bye bye.